Hello chess friends, welcome back to my series of brilliant amateur chess. In this episode, I will show you the 3 brilliant games which were played by a couple of my friends genius amateur 1700 rated players. The first game I will show you is between Hakaru and JJYK Master 12. In this position, as we can see, Black is on the verge of being checkmated. Black has just played pawn to h5 supported by pawn on g6, intending to prevent rook attack on h-file. Unfortunately for Black, this move still doesn't stop the checkmate threat. Well, if you are thinking about rook sacrifice rook take h5, that's not the correct move. In fact, after rook take h5, we can see the eval bar drop a little bit, and Black still have a chance to fight back. But, in the game, White finds a forced checkmate with the brilliant move full piece sacrifice with the move knight to f5, with the threat queen g7 checkmate. If this knight is captured by pawn on g6, then rook takes h6 will lead into mate in 2. So, after this move, Black gives last try with the move knight to d2 check, but after rook takes knight, there is no check for White anymore, and the checkmate threat for Black still unstoppable. What a game! Now we move to the next game. This time, Photon Sentinel play against Briggle 2015. In this position, Black has just played the move pawn to g6, to prevent White's pawn on h6 taking Black's pawn on g7. But, after this move, White plays pawn to h7 with check, forcing the Black king to h8 square. If the king goes to g7 square, then bishop to f6 is checkmate. But, if the king goes to h8 square, then bishop to f6 is not checkmate anymore since the knight on f5 protecting g7 square. But unfortunately for Black, moving king to h8 still doesn't stop the checkmate threat. Because now, White finds a brilliant idea, a beautiful sacrifice with the move, queen takes knight. Now, if the queen is captured by either e or g pawn, then bishop to f6 is an unstoppable checkmate due to g7 square not guarded by the knight anymore. In the game, Black plays e takes f5, then finally White plays bishop to f6, checkmate. What a nice tactic! Now we move to the next game. This time, Ramian Dan play against Eljasab. In this position, after Black moving his rook on e3 to e4, threatening to capture the queen on g4. Now White moves his queen to d7, with the threat rook takes f7, and delivers a potential checkmate threat against the Black king. But, unfortunately for White, this move is a blunder. Because now, Black finds a brilliant idea, beautiful sacrifice with the move, queen takes rook. Now, if the White rook accepts the queen, then Black plays rook to e1 check, forcing rook to block the check. But then simply rook takes rook, and checkmate. So, in the game White decided to try another option with the move, queen takes rook on e8. Unfortunately for White, this move doesn't help anything. Because the Black's rook simply takes the queen. And after Black takes the queen on e8, White decides to surrender the game with the move rook takes queen, then Black plays rook to e1 check. Force White rook to block, then rook takes rook, checkmate. What a nice tactic!